I'm going to try doing this, and it's the example I did in class today, but I'm going to fill in this table that you see over here slowly over here so you can see it being created. So the first problem I gave in class is that I wanted to save up for a car, and I deposit $2,000 at the end of each quarter for 2 years at an interest rate of 5% compounded quarterly. How much will she have at the end? And this is the formula, $2,000 each month, 5% interest, calculated 4 times a year for 2 years, and this is how much I'll have at the end. So this is how it works. I'll show you it being created. So we start off with a 0. Since our deposit is happening at the end of the period, we're going to calculate the interest before we make the deposit. So a whole period goes by, there's nothing in the account, so there's 0 interest calculated. And so if I start with 0 and I have 0 interest, I still have 0. And then I'm going to put $2,000 in. And so now I have 0 plus 2,000. I have 2,000 in my account. So that's telling me at the very beginning of the next period, whatever my ending balance becomes my beginning balance. And then now I'm going to come in and I'm going to find 5% interest divided by 4, that's my interest rate for each quarter, times how much I've got in my account. There we go. I'm multiplying the interest rate, 0.5 divided by 4. I got $2,000 in my account. So this $2,000 is going to make 25 bucks worth of interest. So my new balance is 2,000 plus 25. I've got 2,025 in my account now. And then I'm going to add $2,000. So I started with 2,000. The bank gave me 25 bucks in interest. So now I'm up to 2025, and then I'm going to add 2,000. So that's telling me I've got 2025 plus 2,000, so I've got $4,025 in the bank. And then once again, that money gets carried over to the next period. And I'm going to earn some interest on that $4,000. So this $4,000 is earning 50 bucks in interest. So my new total is going to be this much plus this much. So 25 and 50, I've got about 4,075. I'm going to add $2,000. So now what's my grand total going to be? I got 4,075 and 31 cents. I'm adding 2,000 to it. So, now I've got $6,000.75. And then once again, that amount is going to get transferred to the next period. I'm going to calculate some interest on it. The interest gets added to the 6,000, so now I'm at 61. I'm going to plop $2,000 in, and then now I'm going to be up to 8,000 and change. And I hope you see what's going on by now. And now I'm going to speed up this process. And this is what's going to happen in the 5th year. And then we keep going. So to see, I just kept repeating. Notice that the interest gets calculated, and then I put the deposit at the end. So what's happening is this money is sitting in there the entire period. The bank calculates interest. It gets added to my account. I add 2,000. Boom. It sits in the bank for a period. At the end, the bank will count some interest on that. I have a new balance. I put in 2,000 of my own money in, and now I'm up to here. So when we were at the very end, as you can see, I started with nothing. My present value was nothing, and my future value was 16,775 right here. There's my S. And you notice each period I deposited $2,000. That was the amount that happened each period. 2,000 each quarter. That's my R. It was a repeated amount, R. And this is a future value problem. So this is where this table came from. And I'm just showing you how I did it. So let's compare. This is the same scenario, but what's different with this one is that we're going to do the payments at the beginning. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put 2,000 bucks in. And so then my new balance is $2,000. And now I'm going to get that same interest rate, 5% interest rate, but it's happening quarterly, so I have to divide it by 4. So I make 22 bucks in the first period. Equals the cell in there plus the amount. And, there we go. So 2025. So do you see the difference here? This first period, at the end, I only have $2,000. I didn't make any interest because I did the deposit after interest would have been calculated. Whereas this way, I made a deposit. It sat for the entire period, and then I got some interest. So then that's going to sit in my account. Equals F22. There we go. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to put 2,000 bucks in. So now I've got 4,025. That's what I started with. I put 2,000 of my own money. So now this amount's going to get some interest. So 5.5% divided by 4 times this amount is 1531. See, 5.5% divided by 4 times what's here. And so now my grand total, I've got 4,025 plus 50. You see I'm going to have 4,075 and 31 cents. Now this amount, equals, there we go. That's going to get rolled over to the next month. I'm going to put $2,000 in. So now you'll see I'll be up to $6,000.75, $6,075.31. Yes, I can talk. This is going to get some interest. 75 bucks. So if I add $75.94 to this balance, I've now got $61.51. And so what happens, once again, gets rolled over. I put 2,000 in. I've now got $81.51 and 25. This amount gets some interest. This interest gets added to my total. I have this. And so this process repeats until we get to the very end. And lo and behold, this was the formula I used. Let's take a peek at what's going on. This was the amount that I was putting in every month, 2,000 bucks. It was my repeated amount. They were my quarterly deposits. At the end, I had a future value. I started with nothing. I ended with 16. And rather than have to do all of these tables and information all to figure this out. If I want to know if I started here and I wanted to know that this is how much I was putting in and what my interest rate and how many times I'm going to do it, this would tell me how much I'd have in the future, my future value. And it makes sense that this one's a little bit higher because I'm doing the interest after I make my deposit. So I'm getting a little bit extra. Notice with both of these, I start with nothing, I make a bunch of deposits, I end with a big chunk of money. I start with nothing, I make a bunch of deposits, I end up with a big chunk of money. So both of these are future value. This one's ordinary because it was done, the deposits happened at the end. These were due because the deposits were made at the beginning. But this is what the bank would be looking like. This is what you'd be seeing every period with the bank. So these are your future value problems. So let's look at a present value problem. So this one says, I want to have $5,000 at the end of each quarter for the next 2 years. How much do I need to invest now if the annuity earns 6% compounded quarterly? And this is the formula. And it says I need $37,429.63. So let's come down here. And that's exactly what's going on right here. $37,429.63. I've got a 6% interest rate compounded quarterly. I'm going to make my payment at the end. So what's going to happen is all of this money is sitting in the bank, or I should say in this case it's going to be a withdrawal, but I'm doing 6%, and I'm doing it quarterly, so I have to divide that rate by 4, and I'm going to multiply it by my balance. So this $37,000 is going to earn $561.40 in interest. So therefore, when I add those two together, I've got $37,991.07 in my account. So now I'm going to take out $5,000. I'm going to receive a payment of $5,000. So if I do that, I'd like these to be dollars. I have $37,991.07. I'm taking $5,000 out. So I have $32,991.07 in my account. So that amount is going to get carried to the next month. It's going to earn some interest. It's going to have 6% divided by 4 times this number. So $494, and it makes sense because look, when I had $37,000 plus, I made $560 in interest. When I had a little less than $32,000, I only made a little less than $500. It makes sense. I'm earning a little bit less interest because I've got a little less money in the account. But it's still getting added to my account. So I have this much money. I'm adding $494.87. So now I've got $33,000. Okay. Now I'm going to take out $5,000. So if I have 33 and change and I take out 5, I'm going to have 28. If I take 5,000 out, now I've got $28,485.94. Now I've got $28,485.94. It's going to earn some interest. That interest is going to get added to my account. And then I'm going to take $5,000 out. And so then I have to deduct that $5,000 from my balance. See what's happening each period? I have some money, some interest is earned, makes my account go up a little bit, then I take a bunch of money out. I've got money left over. So then we go to the next year. And lo and behold, to see it gets rolled over, I earn some interest, it bumps it up, I take a big chunk of money out, it drops me down. And this keeps going until I have completely depleted my account. So do you notice in here, this amount is my present value. I can't write it over here because of my cells. I can do it this way. Insert column. There we go. Present value. That's this number right here, my present value. At the end, I had nothing. Here were my monthly payments. Do you see? $5,000 got repeated every period. That was a repeated amount. Present value was a one-shot deal. And that's just this table here. Now the final scenario would be exactly the same as this, but instead of me taking the money out at the end, I'm going to take the money out at the beginning. And it makes sense. So if we do this, we'll come back here. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this says I'm going to start using this formula. Says I need to start off with $37,991.07. So that's what I started with, and I'm going to take out 5 G's, $5,000. So therefore, I'll take my starting balance minus my payment, and I'm down to $32,000. Now this amount is going to earn some interest, and that's 6% divided by 4. That's the quarterly rate times how much is in the account. That's what's in the account. So that's $494.87 is the interest I earn. That gets added to my account. Oops. Those two get added. So now I've got $33,000, $485. So that gets rolled over. I take $5,000 out of there. $33,485.94 minus $5,000. Now I've got $28,485.94. This amount is going to earn interest at 0.06 divided by 4. So that money is going to earn that interest. It's going to get added. These two are going to, this interest is going to get added to my balance. So now I've got 2893. If I add 427 to this, I get this much. So then that'll be how much I have at the beginning of my next period, 28,913. I'm going to pull out $5,000. So I have to deduct that. So now I'm down to 23. But this money is going to earn some interest. And that interest will get added to my account. And so on and so on. And this process is going to keep repeating. For the fourth period, gets rolled over. I pull $5,000 out. I'm down to $19,000 and change. I make a little under $300 in interest. I'm now up to $19,500. And I keep going until I get to the very, very end. Notice at the very, very end, I've got nothing. Once again, do you see the repeated amount was 5,000? That was my R. I had to start with a big chunk of change, and when I was done, I had nothing. So this is present value, is this number right here. So you see with these two, each time 5,000, we start with money, interest is being made, so interest is making the account go up. But then these payments are making the account go down. till where we're at the very end, we've got nothing left, nothing left. Present value, because it happened in the present. We don't really talk about this, but you could say the future value is 0. In these two, we started with nothing, our present value was 0, and my future values were what we had at the end. So, beginning is the present, the end is the future. The beginning is the present, the end is the future. The beginning is the present, the end is the future. And the only difference between these two is, does the interest happen first and then the payment, or does the payment happen first and then the interest? And those are the differences about how these work when they're actually sitting in the bank. And just remember that if it is done at the beginning of a period, it's due. If it happens at the end, it's ordinary. So I hope this helped. I went through it a little bit slower. If you need to, play it again until this makes sense to you. See if you can anticipate what they're going to be. And I will post the one from lecture online on iLearn as well.